What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader, also known as John. I wanted to come back to you guys with another quick video. I've got a bunch of Black Series figures here that have been sitting in my office, literally some of these for over a year. And I do buy protective clamshells to keep the dust off of them and to protect the corners and all that, but I have got to get these out. They're just taking up space. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and box these up and fill out the forms for AFA, Action Figure Authority, to get these graded. But given the fact that I've spent just about every dollar I have on recent gradings and figures that have already been graded on eBay, I don't got any money right now. So what I've found, because I am a serial overspender, that if I fill out the forms and I box everything up and then get it all addressed for AFA, once it's sitting in my man cave, in the one room in my house that my wife has no decorating authority on, eventually she starts grumbling and complaining about this gigantic box that's sitting in the middle of the room, until finally I give in and go ahead and ship it off. Because we all know that once AFA receives it, there's about a week or so time for them to process it, and then they charge a credit card. So it kind of forces me to get items that I've already bought, some of these over a year ago, out of my house and out of my office, and get the grading process rolling. And it prevents me from spending even more money on other stuff. So anyway, that's what goes on in my life. But before I boxed all these things up, like I said, I'm going to send these off probably next month. But I wanted to show you guys some of the figures that I've got that have been sitting in my office, because some of these are really nice. Let's see. First of all, I've got the First Order Flame Trooper. This is from The Force Awakens, obviously. If you remember at the beginning of the movie, the Flame Trooper wreaks havoc and starts burning all the village that's in one of the very first scenes of the movie. But I love the detail on him. I love the fire tank that he's included with, and it just looks really cool. As a side note, all of these I bought on eBay. And the sellers were very, very communicative to me and let me know what kind of condition they're in. And they sent me lots of close-ups of the corners. And, I told them I was looking for a grade quality figure. So for the most part, these should all get at least 8.5s. I'm hoping for higher, but given that these are not, collector grade figures from Big Bad Toy Store, which I've covered in a different video, and some of these are store exclusives, so you have to factor in the fact that there's probably some wear and tear from either shelf life or just being manhandled from all the different shipping. My guess is the best I'm going to do on most of these, if not all of these, is an 8.5. But anyway, so that's the Flame Trooper. This is a Walgreens exclusive, which, Walgreens here in the States is, a drugstore. I'm sure they have it overseas at another location. But this is a Walgreens exclusive Obi-Wan Kenobi Force Spirit. So this is kind of him in spirit form. I really like this one because it's got kind of a cloth, sheen, ghostly kind of robe to it. And his skin has kind of a purplish kind of glow to it. So I don't know if that's coming through in the video or not, but this is a Walgreens exclusive, and if I remember right, I saw a chip on one of the sides for this. Well, I'm not sure where it is, but I know around. Oh, here it is. Right here, you can see where there's a chip. So I don't know how the AFA, how bad AFA is going to ding that for it, but my guess is the best I'm going to do on this one is an 8.5. But given how hard it is to find these graded and how competitive the bidding process is for graded versions that are store exclusives, I'm going to be fine with an 8.5. Next, we got Admiral Thron. Grand Admiral Thron, I should say. Grand Admiral Thron if you're talking dirty to him. But I've already got one of these graded, uncirculated 9.0, so this is one that, like I said, I bought. It's case fresh, not a ding on it. All the corners are in great shape, so I expect it to hopefully come back with an 8.5 or 9, but this will probably be a resale. But, Thrawn is literally one of my very favorite characters in the Star Wars universe. His Expanded Universe books are awesome, and they did a great job on the sculpt. If you remember from one of my previous videos from yesterday, I've got the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Black Series version that's massive, and I've got that graded. Next, we got a Emperor's Royal Guard. I've got one of these already graded that I bought in a wave a long time ago, but I've got another one here. My guess is on this one again, the best I'll get is probably 8.5, but we'll see what happens with it. You know, I have a side business where I buy and resell Black Series figures. I buy them in bulk. Sometimes I buy them in as many as 25 or 30 ungraded directly from folks who get them from Hasbro in sealed cases and then send them off to AFA for grading and then try to resell them on eBay. And, you know, my margins have been pretty good, and I usually take the profits and put it towards my own collection. So, let's see. Next we got, this is another one I believe is a Toys R Us exclusive. Clone Commander Gree from, I believe, Revenge of the Sith. It might have been Attack of the Clones, actually. But anyway, this one is just one of the better Black Series figures in the entire line. He's obviously got the camouflage clone trooper armor, and if you remember, Commander Gree receives the Order 66 and tries to kill Yoda, and he does not, his fate doesn't go well. His head ends up on the ground rolling around after Yoda drops him. But this one is really in near mint shape. I'd be surprised if I don't get a 9, but I guess I could get an 8.5 for it, but it's in very, very good shape. Next, this is an interesting one. From Rogue One, we got K2SO. What's interesting about this one is that if you look at his eyes, he's got red pupils. This is a variant. So K2SO is just a massive figure, really, really well sculpted and lots of good color and weathering on the metal. But most of them did not have the pupils, and this is a variant. It's the rarer of the two variants, but he's got the red pupils, and I found this one online. Again, I don't know what kind of grade I'll get on this one because, you know, I bought this one from a reseller, but my hope is that I will get a 9 on it, but probably an 8.5. It's just really, really hard. You know, as I've covered in different videos, the Black Series figures are very, very fragile. The corners ding up. The windows are massive, so they get scratched up. So it's really hard to get high grades unless you're getting uncirculated ones. Next, this is another excellent one. This is a GameStop exclusive. I'm sure overseas they had it at Game or one of the UK game shop retailers. But this is for Star Wars Battlefront 2, the video game that came out last November 2017. This is Inferno Squad Agent. This is basically a repaint of the TIE Fighter pilot, but he's got kind of red eyes and some red trim. Blacked Out Ewoks has a really, really nice comparison of the original TIE Fighter pilot versus this one. But, you know, this is another one that was pretty expensive. And I did a lot of research to find one that was in as good a shape as I could find. So I paid about, I want to say I paid about $50 for it, so about double what they're going for originally at GameStop. But all the ones at my GameStop were really dinged up, so I didn't even bother trying to get it at retail. I just got one on eBay from a guy who had a case of them. So love that video game. I have literally put over 1,000 hours in the Battlefront 2 video game, so in addition to being an action figure nerd, I'm also a video game nerd, so I'm just a complete and total loser. Finally, this is another variant, actually. This is the non-rare version of it, but this is the ATT Driver, Att Driver, whatever you want to call it, AT-AT. But the very first one said AT-AT Pilot. And so for those of you who do have this carded or boxed, I would look to see if you have it, but if you have AT-AT Pilot instead of Driver, that's actually a variant. But this is a non-variant. This is the only one of these 8 that, as you can see, it's got a poly bag. This is from Big Bad Toy Store. This was a collector grade item, the very first one I ever got, so I did open the box that it came in. But as you can see, this is how Big Bad Toy Store sends all of their collector grade figures. In addition to wrapping them in a cardboard box, they put a poly bag as well. And like I mentioned in another video, I've never sent one in to AFA where I've not gotten at least a 9. The last batch I sent 15 of them in, and 5 of them came back as 9.5 grades, which is very, very high and very difficult to do. But anyway, that's a quick video. I'm going to box these up, probably ship them off next month, but before I boxed them up for good, I thought I'd show you guys some of the ones that hopefully I'll have coming in the next 2 or 3 months. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.